Aye.
You should ask Doug said he would do, he said he would do it.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to reconvene to open session at 6:05. We did not take any action in closed session. Attendance roll call, President Rothberg Allen here, Clerk Reed,
Here.
Trustee Lopez Jones, Trustee Rios, Trustee Gonzalez, Student Representative Cavall. Oh, okay. It's like, oh, our first time to meet her. Okay. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. District mission statement. We are a collaborative, culturally rich educational community where rigorous and innovative curriculum prepares our students to be successful contributors to our global society. 5.1, public business from the floor, non-agenda items. This portion of the agenda allows an individual the opportunity to address the board on any item regarding board business that is not on the agenda. Without taking action or entering into a dialogue with the public, board members may briefly respond to statements made or ask clarifying questions about topics posed by the public. Your matter may be referred to administration. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each.
Hold on.
Is that on?
Yes.
I have a letter that I wanted to read from another parent of the school district, and thank you for the time. Dear school board, we're excited to share with the board that we had the privilege to attend the dual immersion exploration training hosted by the school district a few weeks ago. It was a good start to learn more about the concept and the essentials of a dual immersion school program. We appreciated the performance data that such programs have had in the country, both academically and socially. This reinforces our wish to see the school district pursue this path. We want to reiterate our encouragement and support for the implementation of a dual immersion program in Calistoga for K through 12. We strongly believe that our community and our children would greatly benefit from this program on an academic, social, and cultural level. We understand there are concerns from the teachers and realize that many questions need to be answered. Our hope is that our school district and board continue to push forward and provide answers. We feel strongly that this is the best path forward to prepare all of our children of our community for the reality of a global world as it is evolving. We thank you very much for everyone's effort, and we look forward to the next steps in this journey. We're happy to support you in any way. Sincerely, Claire Weinkoff and Elizabeth Tangney. My name is Elizabeth Tangney. So.
Thank you. Any other public comments? All right, moving on to 6.1 student representative. Can we?
Is she gonna come? Wanna table her? Yeah, we'll put her.
Okay, okay. 6.2 Calistoga Associated Teachers.
Okay, hello, thank you. Calistoga Associated Teachers are going strong for another year with the newly elected executive officers of President Matthew Godinez, that's me, Vice President Jessica Musser, Secretary Aida Cepeda, and Treasurer Marcy Solomon, as well as newly appointed bargaining chair Autumn Duarte, and many more people stepping up to take on additional leadership roles. We continue to have 100% membership in our union, showing just how dedicated Calistoga teachers are to working hard, working together, and doing what's best for students. We also have a new website presence, which can be found at calistogaassociatedteachers.org. This website is mainly to share things like meeting dates and important documents, but we'll also be using it as a platform for announcements, such as to educate the public on positions we take, or possibly to endorse school board candidates in upcoming elections. We've also been listening to and discussing some of the topics that have come up at board meetings over the past year, including bullying, homework policy, and dual immersion. We plan to share teacher feedback about some of these issues after further discussion and surveys with our members. Finally, we wanted to give some recognition to the hard work and resourcefulness of Melissa Davis and Michelle Craig Morales. The Palisades Continuation Program has been awarded a $73,200 grant. And through the Napa Valley Youth Advocacy Center project, in partnership with Palisades High School and QA Commons, at-risk youth are empowered to overcome barriers and build a bright future. With funding provided by the Roger Trinchero Family Foundation, students will engage in career exploration, skill development, and confidence-building exercises to achieve long-term success and socioeconomic mobility. It's an incredible opportunity for Palisades, and we're excited to announce the partnership. So this is our first Calistoga Associated Teachers report. Look forward to giving some more in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. 6.3 Calistoga School Employees Association.
There's no report tonight.
Thank you. 6.4 Calistoga Elementary School Principal.
All right, good evening, everyone. With respect to LCAP goal number 1, ensuring academic excellence for all students. Last week, we finished our first round of release days for grades TK through 6, special education, and our teachers on special assignment called TOSAs. There were 2 main points for the day. The first was to review data trends in MAP, Smarter Balanced or CASP, and the English Learner Proficiency Assessment for California. And the second thing was to look at individual student results to determine adjustments to our Learning Accelerated block. That is our time where we work with students on providing them what they need, and our English language development groupings. With respect to LCAP goal number 2, providing a safe, healthy, and positive school environment. Earlier this month, we held our annual rules rodeo where we reviewed behavior expectations for common spaces such as restrooms, play structure, and the field. And currently, Vice Principal Inamark is conducting classroom meetings to talk to classes about behavior expectations, how to report concerns, see something, say something, and being an upstander versus a bystander, and what bullying, including cyberbullying, looks like in a school setting. I'm also very excited to announce that our Wellness Center is now complete. The inspiration for the space came from our attendance of the Napa Valley Education Foundation Wellness Conference. And during this conference, we visited wellness centers in Napa Valley Unified Schools. And this purpose of this space is a Tier 1, first instruction, meaning for all students, and to provide social emotional learning support. And this has been a collaborative effort through our community schools partnership with Up Valley Family Center. And so this week we are going to be working on doing classroom visitations and orientations to the space and to learn the processes. Today I just did a video with Marcela Rodriguez indicating to our parents that the Wellness Center is now open. And so we're going to be pushing that out as well. And then we'd also are going to be inviting our parents during our parent engagement meeting, which happens towards the end of the month, to visit. And we will be looking forward to having this space open. So we're very excited about it. And then finally, we've had our back to school night this last month. Where our teachers review classroom expectations. And we also had our first PTO meeting of the year. And during this meeting, we discussed activities for the year, and PTO made a generous donation to support the homecoming parade. So we're really excited. I'm sure you're going to probably talk about that as well today. And we also had our first parent engagement meeting, and we had 15 parents come to that meeting. So we're excited to maintain those numbers. Our parent engagement, it happens on the morning. Usually it's like the third or fourth Friday of the month. And it's designed really for those families that cannot make those evening meetings, and gives them an opportunity to provide feedback. And we also have many families who bring infants and young toddlers to the meeting. So it's a nice space for them. So that concludes my report. Are there any questions?
There we go. A quick one. With the new wellness center, which is very exciting, is there a possibility, because I know parent teacher conferences are coming up, is there a possibility that it could be open and available for parents while they're on site, just to see it and become familiar with it? So it's something that they can also talk to their kids about after seeing the space?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great idea.
Just so, because a lot of parents, I mean, they're not able to be there at drop off, and then kids go to club after school and then they're not on campus. So as a way when parents are already on campus, if they could see.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Calistoga Junior Senior High School Principal.
Thank you. I will start with LCAP Goal 1, ensuring academic excellence for all students. CJSHS held their first round of MAP assessments at the end of September. A modification was made to the MAP schedule during the 23-24 school year, which now includes a built-in makeup day for students to have extra time to complete all assessments within the actual week. After our makeup testing days, administration was able to pull grade level data in MAP, which shows the areas of strength and growth for each grade level. This information was shared and reviewed with all teachers during a staff meeting. A follow-up training will occur with teachers to demonstrate how to pull individual rosters and CAP advisory grade level data in the NWEA MAP system. The goal is to create school-wide and/or grade level goals based on these results. CJSHS is also closing out the first quarter on October 11th, at which time grades will be sent home electronically. This is a new detail. We're sending home report cards electronically now, saving paper. LCAP Goal 2, provide a safe, healthy, and positive school environment. CJSHS is working to implement a positive behavior reward system for students who are engaged in positive behaviors on campus. We have set up our online Minga system with praises that can be assigned to students, which allows them to earn 5 points per praise. We have practiced with a few students and teachers and are fine-tuning the process. Administration is working together with students and leadership to determine and define appropriate rewards for the different point levels. Students in leadership class have been working to create fun and engaging activities during this week, homecoming week, to encourage all students to be part of the annual tradition. CJSHS will be conducting the social emotional learning survey school-wide during the week of October 7th through 11th. We will do makeups next week. Results from the SEL survey will be reviewed by administration and shared with staff. LCAP Goal 3, increase parent engagement and enhance communication. Calistoga Junior Senior High School held their annual back to school night on September 12th from 6 to 8 p.m. Administration welcomed all parents in the NPR cafeteria, and classrooms were open for parents to visit in any order. There were several community organizations present tabling during the event to provide support and resources for our families. CJSHS staff and administration will continue to explore how to increase attendance at our back to school event. During the month of September, our staff were trained on how to send electronic reports via secure email to parents. Moving forward, CJSHS will only send report cards home electronically. Homecoming is the week of October 6th through 12th. It actually started yesterday. Traditionally, many families and community members support our students during the annual homecoming parade and attend our sporting events. This year, we will change the homecoming parade to begin at 12 p.m. in the afternoon and conclude at 12:40 p.m. On Friday, October 11th, CJSHS will have a girls and boys soccer game as well as a football game, and we encourage all students and families to support and attend these events. CJSHS also works collectively with CES to coordinate and host monthly PTO and DLAC meetings. We have found that most parents prefer to attend via Zoom for evening events. During our last coffee with the principal in September, we had approximately 9 parents attend in person. And that concludes my report. Any questions?
Thank you.
If I could add one more thing about the positive points. This week, as I stand in line and watch kids go through line, if they're on Fridays, if they're wearing green, I assign positive spirit points. And then today was anything but a backpack day. And so kids who brought ice coolers, or I think a student brought like an empty rice bag and used that as his backpack, they got extra points. So, and I just call them school spirit points. So when they open their Minga, it's like this confetti surprise that pops up that they get positive points. So I just wanted to add that.
Yeah. We're going to circle back to student representative report, and welcome to your first meeting.
Hello. Oh, okay. Hello, everyone. So for today's student reports for August 2nd, I wrote it 2024. So throughout the month of September, we've been preparing for the annual homecoming festivities, and now it's finally here. Homecoming week for the Calistoga Wildcats theme, Falling into Wonderland. The excitement is in the air as students and staff gear up for a week filled with fun activities and events. We kick things off with a successful night rally and bonfire where students enjoyed various activities, shared laughter, and ended the night with a movie under the stars. Each day has a unique theme to boost school spirit. Today, Monday, is class shirt and anything but a backpack day, promoting creativity. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we'll wear our favorite sports jersey to support our athletic teams. Wednesday will be a colorful Barbie World Pink Out Day, encouraging everyone to embrace vibrant hues. On Thursday, we have the much anticipated Soccer versus Barbecue Parents event, where students will showcase their athletic skills and will display their grilling talents. Friday will feature Green Out Day, a chance for everyone to wear school colors and show of unity. The highlight of the week will be the annual homecoming parade, where students will display their creatively designed floats celebrating school spirit and community involvement. Our football, soccer, and volleyball teams will also have their homecoming games, encouraging everyone to come and support our athletes. This week, we will conclude with a much anticipated homecoming dance on Saturday, promising a night of fun and celebration. Regarding our seniors, they are currently in the process of preparing their applications for California State Universities. With that being said, this concludes this month's school report. Thank you for your continued support and involvement.
Thank you very much. Any questions? All right, we're on to the Director of Facilities. Chris?
No official report this evening because we have some action items under action items.
Okay. 6.7, Director of Business Services.
Good evening, everyone. So I only have a couple things tonight. We conducted our 2024 bond sale on Tuesday, October 1st, and the sale was for the remaining 8.88 million from our 2010 election. And the board approved the resolution for the sale at the September board meeting last month. There's a lot of prep work that goes into the sale of bonds from the moment the board approves a resolution for a sale. We must first meet with the bond rating agency, and that's the Moody's or S&P. They give us our rating. We have to do a presentation, and we talk about our community. We talk about our finances for the school district. So we did that right off the bat. And then we work with various agencies to go through hundreds. I feel like it's hundreds. It's probably not hundreds, but lots of legal documents throughout the process of a bond sale. The agencies we work with are our financial advisor, our bond underwriter, our legal counsel, and Napa County Treasury. And so on Monday the 30th, we had a pre-bond sale meeting for the sale on October 1st. And during that meeting, they talked about how selling bonds on the 1st of the month is a very good situation usually. And the market was doing well at that time. We talked about the fact that our district has a very good bond rating through Moody's. We are actually the strongest rating you can have for a school district. We're a AA1 district. And this is thanks to not only a high property tax community, but also a great fiscal oversight with our budget, and as well as good relationships with our bargaining units. At that meeting, we also talked about the different parties that were going to probably participate in the bond sales. Anybody from Wells Fargo to Franklin Templeton, Nuveen, just to name a few. So big companies actually do purchase our bonds, even though it's a small amount of bond compared to other school district at $70 and $80 million. We only had 8.8. But overall on the pre-bond sale, they were confident that we were going to do well. The next morning, the sale starts at like 7 a.m. Audra and I have the ability to get on and watch the actual sales of the different pieces of the bond, and they do sell in different segments and different term dates. And so that's kind of exciting to watch. By 10 a.m., we had sold most of the 8.88 million with about 160,000 remaining. And Stifel, our underwriting agency, actually purchased that remaining amount for us. One thing that was mentioned in the final pricing call after the bonds were sold, we do have a pricing call afterwards, and they kind of recap everything for us, is that, as you probably recall, 10/1 was the day that Iran bombed Israel. And that actually had a positive effect on the bond market because companies don't like to purchase stocks. They go to bonds because it's a safer purchase. And so unfortunately, it's horrible that we benefited from that, but we did benefit from that. Overall, the average sale on the bond, or the average interest rate that we're going to pay back on the bond is 3.87%, which is a great percentage in today's market. Last year when we sold bonds, we were in the high 4s. So really good news on that. The payback date in full is 2048, whereas last year our payback date is 2052. So we even saved a few years on the total overall repayment. And then the actual closing date for the bond is October 15th. And so we will receive all of our cash proceeds at that time. The cost to do the bond or to sell the bond is $150,000, and that does come out of the proceeds. So we'll get 8.88 million minus the 150,000 in cash. Next subject, I met with Kyle Clausen today. He's the new director at the Brannon Center. It was a pleasure to meet with him, and we discussed lots of future possibilities in working collaboratively with the Brannon Center and the district, as well as talking about the community and exciting things that the community gets to endure as a result of the Brannon Center coming to life. Next steps for us with the Brannon Center is we have an MOU about our parking. And so that will come back in a few weeks. Mr. Clausen will get a hold of Audra and talk about that MOU. And then hopefully there'll be lots more MOUs in other areas to come with the Brannon Center. Last thing I want to report on is we have a new contract for copiers and printers in the district. That's with Ubio. That did come to the board a couple months ago. And our first pilot install for a copier was done at the district office last week. The sites will receive their new copiers in the next couple weeks. And right now we're in the process of tagging all the printers to get those into the print system and have the Ubio starting to be able to monitor our printers as well. Look forward to a new relationship and a very good cost savings, which is always music to my ears with the new copier company. And that's all I have for you tonight.
Thank you. Any questions? All right, Director of Educational Services and Human Resources.
All right, good evening. Got a report for you tonight on legislative action. We had the California legislative session ended on August 31st, and the deadline for the governor to sign or veto bills was September 30th. And the legislature is very active in the area of education. And I'm going to report on a few key bills tonight. The first is AB 3216, which is the Phone Free School Act. And no major surprises or revisions from what we thought we were going to get. It says that districts shall, by July 1st, 2026, adopt a policy that limits or prohibits the use of smartphones while pupils are at school. And that policy should be updated every 5 years. It has some interesting language in the bill. It references that smartphone use interferes with the educational mission of schools. It cites research that says Smartphones lower pupil performance, promote cyberbullying, and increase teenage anxiety and mental health. It calls out that smartphone use shall not be prohibited in cases of emergency or threat of disaster or danger. It explicitly allowed by a teacher or administrator, a doctor's order, or required by a student's IEP. Interestingly, it references successful school cell phone bans in France and Spain, which I was not aware of. While not mentioned in the bill, similar laws have been passed in 4 other states, and then 10 other states have not requirements, but recommendations that these policies be created. So for Calistoga, I think we are in pretty good shape. We have policies limiting smartphone use at both schools. The policy at the elementary school has been in place for a long time successfully. With the board support, we have a policy in place at the junior senior high school and Monica's leadership with her staff. And we're in year 2 where it feels like it's becoming more part of the culture as opposed to something new. So I don't think we have major changes coming now, though I think between now and July 1st, 2026 is a good time to evaluate our policies. Is this working? Do we need to make any changes? There was another bill, not directly related to school, but I thought I would call it out. It's SB 976. It's got a very strong title. It's Protecting Our Kids from Social Media Addiction Act. And what it does is it's a law that it says that we're going to prohibit social media companies from using addictive algorithms with kids. Parental consent must be provided before minors can participate in anything that has an addictive algorithmic feed. Notification from social media sites to minors will be blocked during school hours and after certain times. And so again, not directly related to school, but you can see that the intent of the legislature is to take this seriously. We also have an update on AB 2999, the Healthy Homework Act. And there was, I think, a significant amendment to this. The legislature has changed this from school districts are required to school districts are encouraged to develop a homework policy for all grades by 27-28 and having adopted a new policy by 28-29 and updated every 5 years. It authorizes the California Department of Education to post guidelines on the development of a homework policy. The bill itself actually is very interesting to read. It calls out what good homework looks like. It discusses some of the limitations or risks of homework, talks about guidance for the adoption of a policy, which is some of the things that we're doing, which is evaluating and understanding your current practices, and then eliciting stakeholder feedback. And then there's actually an interesting assembly floor analysis, which was some language that was brought to the floor when this was discussed, which really is pretty in-depth. It talks about the recent research and the research that was referenced when developing this law. And it's a really interesting read, and it's encouraging that the legislature took somewhat of a deep dive into this. It wasn't a superficial subject for them. And I can bring back some more details if and when we present policy recommendations. So next steps for us, we have our Parent Square survey, our parent survey launched today. Very important that we get as much parent feedback as we can from as many parents as possible, a diverse group of parents telling us what their thoughts are. It's a very important part of this process. Currently, we have 36 parents participating since about noon today. And so we will continue to promote this everywhere we can through the end of next week, October 18th. So please tell your friends, have folks please participate in that survey. And then after we have the results, we'll share them with our staff, we'll look at them, and we'll start to develop a first draft of a homework policy. I will say that, this is a local control issue, and a policy here may look different than in a different community. And that's how it should be. So we need to find out what is our stakeholder feedback and how does that relate to the policy that we would present. Another law that caught my eye was AB 2927, personal finance. Districts must offer one semester course of personal finance by 27-28, and it is a graduation requirement for the class of 2030-31. And that'll happen fast, 2030-31, right? It also says it may exempt students from their economics graduation requirement. So next steps for us. Number one, we several years ago added a a financial algebra course when we added a third year of math as another option for students to take that third year of math. So we need to evaluate that course to see if it is equivalent to what's now being called personal finance. Then we need to start looking at a long-term plan for how each student can take that course. I think the most impactful outcome of this law will be that the way it reads is that students who take personal finance may be exempt from economics, but not vice versa. So what that means is that you've essentially made economics an elective. And I can see the intent. The intent is let's move in a direction where we focus on teaching children about personal budgets, managing credit, personal investing, versus the overarching ideas of how the economy functions, right? So we will see this play out. We have time to analyze it, but I thought that that was an impactful law. And there are laws in the area of dual enrollment, students with disabilities, English learner students, safety planning, hiring practices, et cetera. It's a very active legislature in the area of education. And lastly, I'll share with you that we received a private preview of the CASP and LPAC scores. These will be released to the public on October 15th. And we made significant progress in several areas. We're overall very pleased with the results. I'll present the scores as a whole in January when we do our annual California dashboard presentation, but know that state test scores will become public on October 15th. And that's my report for tonight.
Thank you. 6.9, Dr. Pittman.
I just want to make sure you can hear me. Good evening, everyone. So I have several things that I want to present to the board tonight, and these first ones are somewhat of a celebration. I had mentioned to you at our last board meeting that last week I was going to be out for 2 days because I was going to be attending a conference called the League of Innovative Schools. So now it's past October 2nd, so I can officially announce that Calistoga Joint Unified School District has been selected as one of 25 new members, total of 150 nationwide that are members of the League of Innovative Schools. And so that's really exciting for us to be a part of this. We did put out some press releases, so hopefully there'll be some news coverage of this. Along with that, our MIT group has some exciting things that are going on. So one of our students, Elias Escobar, him and his mother got on a plane really early this morning and they flew out to Washington, D.C. and I'll be joining them tomorrow night as they represent MIT as well as our district in a presentation for the Education Department on invention education in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month. And so I'm pretty excited for our student. This is somewhat of a once in a lifetime opportunity for him to be invited and to represent us on the national stage. So I'm excited to meet him out there tomorrow evening or Wednesday morning. In addition to that, both Elias as well as Beatrix Reed will be representing us again in a national webinar called Ideas to Inventions webinar. And so they, along with our patent attorney who's helping us get our patents, will actually be running this webinar, and it's open to anyone. I've sent you the link and we'll post it on our website. But to talk about how students are moving from invention or from ideas to actual inventions. So it's pretty exciting. Tomorrow, we're continuing our work both with our labor management and our unions with California Labor Management Initiative. We have Gustavo from the Labor Management Initiative coming tomorrow to lead a 4-hour session with representatives from management, CAT, as well as our CTA organizations to help us build our relationships and continue to partner with successful ideas to help make Calistoga one of the best school districts in not only the state, but in the nation. I am excited to announce we have 2 CEF board members sitting in the room. So I want to thank them, Ms. Hickman, as well as Mr. Reed. On Friday, the Calistoga Education Foundation met and looked over grant applications from all of our teachers, as well as representatives from each of the individual school sites. And they have agreed to award over $86,000 towards our teachers and students over this next year. And there's another application process that will come up in the spring as well. So some of the things that they are donating money towards is money for our homecoming floats, which was mentioned. We always have our homecoming floats put together this week. But this year, our new ASB leadership teacher requested some support so that our students could be supported in actually making the floats happen. She's also designed, we're back at the fairgrounds since we now own it. So there are set times that they can work on it. Those that are alumni, remember that. So it's back at the fairgrounds. They are working on them Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. They are not going to be out there till midnight. They'll be locked up and kept safe for Friday for them to drive around town. They also awarded money to go on field trips to Armstrong Woods, Connolly Park, Safari West, Dr. Kaboom Science Center. This year, we will be hosting a BMX anti-bullying assembly for the elementary school up through 8th grade, and they're helping fund that. There was a request for some Wildcat spirit gear for the junior, senior high school to help with the positive promotions and to reinforce our excitement about being a Wildcat. There's some organized lunchtime activities that are going to be funded at the elementary schools so that kids are focused and have an opportunity to do different things at lunch. And then there was a big request this year, which they granted, which is a 3-night field trip to I don't know if it's called the C Lab or the SEA Lab. Does anybody know? Okay, we're going to call it the C Lab. The C Lab in Monterey, which is a Wolf School affiliate, and all 8th graders will be attending in the spring to go to Monterey for 3 nights. So that's pretty big. So again, I want to thank the Ed Foundation for all the work that you have done and the support that you give us, because yes.
Say that we can do that because of the generous support of the community. So thanks to all of Calistoga for that.
Yes, I think we're going on 30 years with the Ed Foundation. So this has definitely been a long road, and it's really exciting, the opportunities that they provide for us and the ideas that our teachers and staff bring to the table that allow us to provide them with these opportunities. Friday, I will be sitting on the panel to interview for our new police chief. So we are hoping to have somebody selected within the next couple months. As we know, this week is homecoming. We already talked about last night. And as I said, the floats will be built this week. Did you mention the time change on the float? Okay. On the parade. Yes. Yeah. And Friday, it's supposed to be 70 degrees. I just need to comment on that. Last year, I think it was 100. I want to update on our dual immersion exploratory team. We had our meeting a couple weeks ago where we gained information on what that was. Thank you, parents, for coming and speaking. The next step is their team will be sending out a team to a site visit on Wednesday, October 23rd. That'll include classroom visits, meetings with parents, meetings with teachers, meetings with administrators, to see if we have the skills, if we have the will, if this is something that we want to do as we move forward. So more information is coming. I do want to announce Upstage Napa Valley. Every year they do a play fest in October. And normally I wouldn't announce this, but the reason that I am announcing this is because one of our students, sophomore Henry Ames, is a writer, and I won't announce the other part. is a writer, and his play is actually going to be acted out at the community theater on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, October 25th through October 27th. He's one of the first students to have a writer. Yes, let's give him a round of applause. I'm hoping they will give us a discount that we can push out to our students and families to go and support our student writer on that weekend. So if you aren't going, I will share with you the flyer. We will push it out to all of our community members, though, to support our student who is in there.
A board member's spouse.
Yes, our board member's spouse is making a debut as an actor in one of the other plays.
I want to go to that one.
It happens to be on the same night. At the end of the month, I am going to Savannah to represent Calistoga for the National Forum to Advance Rural Education. So I'm pretty excited about that because, again, we are doing good work and we get to go to other places and talk about the good work that we are doing. I want to remind everyone that we are in the third year. I'm not going to go into a lot of details, but we will be doing every 15 minutes again this year. So we've started the planning. So just be prepared mentally as we get ready to move through that. I want to thank Matt for talking about the Palisades partnership with the Trinchero family and the employability skills. Yes, we're pretty proud and pretty excited of this partnership. And one of the pieces as well is that the students will all get a mentor and go through a mentorship partnership as they work through this as well. And then one of the partners that's working with us is Tom Amato, thank you, who happens to be a substitute, has a very deep connection to Calistoga. And so we're excited that he's brought this partnership to us. And then finally, I just wanted to update the board on some professional development that the administration team is going through, which is called Breakthrough Coaching. Almost all of us have completed our training. Yes? Not yet. This weekend, next week. Yeah. And the big idea about Breakthrough Coaching, it was originally written for principals, but I felt it was really important for all of us as administrators to go through this. And then myself and both principals will continue with a monthly check-in with the organization starting in January. But it's to improve teaching and learning on your campus, and that includes having coaching days. So we're in classrooms. Principals are supposed to be in classrooms 2 days a week. District administrators at least 1 day a week. So this morning I spent the morning with Principal Lamar at CES, and we were in classrooms all morning, which is really, that's why we do what we do, to be around teaching and learning kids and our teachers. And then there's office days where you're actually in your office working on the reports that you have to work on. And then just this idea of being more efficient. And so in order to do this, we need to support each other. We need to hold each other accountable. Their secretaries are supposed to be their gatekeepers to ensure that they stay on task and they're doing what they're doing. And so we're supporting our executive assistants and our secretaries. If you'll notice when I'm in a meeting and it's almost time for my next meeting, Cynthia will come and knock on the door and let me know. And it's meant to let me know, as well as the person I'm meeting with, that my next meeting is here as well, so that I can be respectful of everybody's time. So I'm excited to see how this is going to roll out. And that's my report.
Thank you. Next up, 7.1 Napa County Office of Education letter, read 24-25 LCAP and budget approval.
Thank you. So this is our standard update on an annual basis. Our LCAP and our budget were approved. This is just the official letter coming from Napa County Office of Ed, stating that based on their analysis, they're satisfied that the LCAP meets the requirements and that they are approving the LCAP for 24-25. In terms of the budget, from their analysis of the budget financial report, they are satisfied that we will meet our financial obligations for this fiscal year as well as the next 2 years, putting us as a positive, and they approve the district's budget as adopted. They commend the districts for its efforts to maintain adequate fund balance reserves for cash flow and economic uncertainties. And their office recommends that the district continue to maintain the reserve well above the state required minimum levels to cover cash flow needs throughout the year. And that's the report.
Okay, thank you. 7.2 Independent Study Data during winter break presentation.
So presentation is a loose term. Wanted to report on the data. The question came up as we think about independent study, as we and the changes that we're going to discuss briefly, and then next month we'll come back with a new policy. But the question came up last month of how many of our students and how many of our families extend the 3-week winter break that is provided for them. And so we ran the numbers. Both last year and the year before were pretty similar. Last year, 38 families, total of 55 students, or 7% of our student population, or 7.7% of our family population, pulled their kids for at least 1 extra day, if not 5 days, either before the start of winter break or after. Of those days, though, all except for 2 completed the independent study packets, earning their days back in terms of the days that they were missed. And the year prior to that, it was 39 families, or 8% of our families, and 51 students, or 6% of our student population. So they were pretty similar. One of the things that is different this year that we're going to have to be aware of is the fact that our winter break was pushed back because Thanksgiving is so late. We recognize that, and instead of having 2 weeks in between, we opted to have 3 weeks. We're not quite sure what impact that's going to have on this. But it very well may. We won't know until the next month when people start putting in requests, because we know that they might have purchased tickets to be out. So that's something we want to be mindful of. The other piece is that the law has changed in the past. It was up to districts they were allowed to put a cap on independent study. And one of the two main changes that have occurred now is that we are not allowed to put a cap. The state has put a cap on 15 days. So a parent could request up to 15 days of being gone for short-term independent study, which we have to approve. They need to put the request in advance if we want to give them work to do over that particular timeframe. The other flip side to that is they could request independent study for 1 day, whereas in the past there was a minimum of 3 days. A max, yeah, throughout the whole year. So those are some changes that are coming up. And so again, we do not get to cap it as 5 days, which is what we had done like the week before break or the week after break. They now are allowed to have a full 15 days if they request it. And so it's a matter of us working with our families, because obviously we want them to be here. We don't want them to be out for 15 days. And so we want to support what that looks like so that they can be here getting the learning in one-on-one day-to-day lessons versus via a packet. And so more to come on that, but we just wanted to share those pieces of data with you. Do you have any questions?
The 15 days, that's not consecutive, correct? That can be broken up.
Yes, both.
It's so.
Either or.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so yes, they could do 5 days here and 5 days there. Yeah.
All right, 8, consent agenda. Action items proposed for the consent agenda are deemed routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless any member of the board, the audience, or staff request a specific item to be removed from the consent agenda for separate action. Can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Thanks, Matt. Second? Thank you, Laurel. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. This is a roll call vote. President Rothberg Allen, aye. Clerk Reed,
Aye.
Trustee Lopez Jones, Trustee Rios, Trustee Gonzalez, Student Representative Clavel. Clavel. Section 9, public hearing. Do I need to read this?
Yes.
As an elected governing body of the Calistoga Joint Unified School District, the Board of Trustees conducts public hearings for the purpose of maintaining open communication with parents, students, and residents of the Calistoga community and school district. Through the public hearing process, trustees seek ideas and viewpoints regarding the efficiency and quality of district-sponsored programs or any other area of the operation of the district and its schools. The trustees believe that open communication is a key element in the ongoing process of district, school, and program improvement. 9.2, sufficiency of instructional materials. The Board of Trustees will discuss the district's sufficiency of instructional materials. We'll open the public hearing at 7:51.
6:51.
6:51. Are there comments from the staff or board?
No.
Comments from the public?
No.
Okay, close the public hearing. 30 seconds later. 10, action item protocol. Protocol for action items includes a staff presentation, questions from the board, public input, deliberation by the board, and voting by the board. During public input, there will be a 3-minute time limit per person. 10.2, Resolution 24-2506, sufficiency of instructional materials. Do I need to read this section too?
No, she is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're on.
Okay. This is the resolution for the sufficiency of instructional materials. You have received the resolution that lists out all of the sufficient textbook and instructional materials that are used throughout the district. So you as a board are attesting to this resolution that we do have sufficient materials for our students.
Can I have a motion? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 10.3, adopt revised Prop 28 plan.
So this is a revised plan. As you know, Prop 28 provides specific funds to schools specifically for arts education. And each school is provided X amount of dollars. So for CES, we wrote our plan to include our part-time music teacher that's doing TK through third grade. For the junior, senior high school, the original plan, we surveyed our teachers, we surveyed what we wanted for the junior, senior high school, knowing that we didn't have enough money to hire a full-time art teacher. It's also somewhat difficult in a small school to provide an additional elective during the day. It pulls from other slots. And so we haven't used any of those funds up until this point. And so this year we went back to go back to our students and our staff to find out what exactly it is that our students want, because we don't want to create a class that nobody is going to take and then not be able to use the funds again. And so Ms. Baldenegro, along with her team, put out a survey to all students, and the survey results are included in the board packet, outlining the top classes that they wanted to take and the kind of workshop model they wanted to do. And so they want 2 to 3 weeks, 2 days a week in various topics. And so we are reissuing the revised plan so that we can meet the needs of our students. And we will eventually be applying for a waiver to the state to give us more flexibility so that we can do it on the Tuesdays and Thursdays after school, so that if we don't have any teachers who want to teach the course, we could find a contractor, or for example, we wanted to bring in Ballet Folklorio, we can bring in the instructor from St. Helena to come and teach the class. So that will give us a lot more flexibility to provide the classes that our students want to take. So we're asking the board to approve the revised Prop 28 plan for the junior, senior high school.
You know, with Prop 28 being so new, what do you think? Would a waiver request like that likely be granted?
Yes. We're only going to be able to apply because we're so small. It's for, do you know the numbers at 500 students? Yeah. And so we're able to apply because of the size of our district. And so I would anticipate that if we have a plan that they will approve it, because otherwise they would not provide this as an opportunity.
I move to approve the plan as presented.
Second. Rudy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resolution 24-2507, General Work Experience Education WE Program, Internship Program, and Transition Services Work Program for Special Education and 504 students.
So we have a resolution tonight to approve our 3 work-based learning experience programs. And I have a brief presentation for you along with this resolution. It's a nice chance to talk about the programs we have in place, including a new program we have this year. So we have this TV here.
Hey, we need our new screen.
I think I can. I think I can. I'm not that old yet. I'm getting there. Okay. So we have some policy on this issue. The district's work-based learning program shall be designed to teach students the skills, attitudes, and knowledge necessary for successful employment and to reinforce mastery of both academic and career technical education standards. And so the first program I'd like to talk about is our internship program. And talk to Carla Serber about this, who oversees this program. And she shared that in about 2016, we didn't have a program, and 2 students came to her and they said, we need a program. Not only do we need a program, we've already got our placements. We've arranged for them. And so that was Calistoga Police Department and Napa Valley Ag Repair. And so Carla then went to Healdsburg that had an established program and collaborated with them, learned from them. She collaborated with the district, got legal guidance on the appropriate forms and insurance and all that stuff. And she kicked that program off in 2017. And an internship is a structured, supervised, unpaid employment opportunity where students gain work experience related to their career interest. And some detailed information. Carla is the coordinator for that program. It typically targets juniors and seniors. There are 18 students participating. The curriculum is Career Launch. Career Launch is a kind of tried and true curriculum for this work that focus on things like identifying your career interests, resume building, interview skills. So there is a classroom component along with the work experience component. Students get 5 units of elective credit per semester, and we currently have 12 employers and 11 job sectors. And that might change. I think we just approved some more internship agreements, but this will give us a general idea. And I think it's pretty impressive what our students are doing out there. We have students working at Solage, food service and hospitality pathway, with our food services program, with the police department and the public safety sector at the elementary school, I think with 3 or 4 different elementary teachers in education. And we have a student also working with Larry Black in our IT department in informational support and students and services. With the Calistoga Fire Department in emergency response, with Next Home and the Valley Realtor for marketing, with Landmark Construction in engineering and heavy construction, Hearts and Hands Preschool for child development, Calistoga Dental Group for patient care, Jules Hair and Nail Salon for personal services, and with the Napa County Office of Education's ACE After School Program. So that's extensive, right? And that's kind of a tried and true program, our oldest program. And then several years ago, our special education department from the high school approached us wanting to start a new program in collaboration with the California Department of Rehabilitation. And the DOR sponsors a program which is designed to help special education students transition from school into the workforce. And through their partnership with schools and businesses, those programs support students in developing independence, improving employability to achieve long-term career success. And so that program is really coordinated by Sandy Peterson, who's a special education teacher, and she has partnered with John Green, our school psychologist program specialist, to really develop that program and interface with the DOR. It targets students with disabilities, which could be a student with an IEP or a 504 plan, and there's typically between 5 and 15 students participating. It's a teacher-developed curriculum. It has the same elements, really, as Career Launch, but it's designed to meet the needs of special education students and student learners. Students get 5 credits of units of elective credit, and it's paid by the Department of Rehabilitation at minimum wage. So it's not paid by the employer, but DOR pays those students. So they earn income while they're earning high school credit. And the partner employers are Indian Springs, Ace Hardware, Palisades Eatery, Sam's General Store, and Calistoga Bike Shop. And those partnerships were really forged by Sandy and John. They just went out there, they got in the community and started talking to employers, and they built those relationships. So it's a big benefit and a new benefit to our students over the last couple of years. And then this year we have a new course that falls under this title, General Work Experience Program. And it's designed to do a lot of what the other programs do, but it's for students that are in paid work experience. So they have a job, but they can get school credit for it. And it was added this year so that we could kind of fill that gap between internship and a program we have kind of like this for special education students. So it's a program now for general education students. The teacher can be any credentialed teacher, which is nice in terms of credentialing. It's currently assigned to our social studies teacher, which will be filled by Mr. Gill, who will be joining us on November 1st. It's available to juniors and seniors. We currently have 5 students, so this is a new program we're hoping to build. They also use Career Launch. Students get 5 units of credit, and it's a paid program for students who have paid employment. The benefit, it enables students to earn income while earning credit towards high school graduation, earning real world experience. And Monica kind of led the charge on that to bring a new program to us to help us benefit our kids. Monica, you want to say anything? Thoughts?
Just share that we were hoping we could include more students in that class. And so we are exploring other ways to add students, so that students who do work in the evenings can count this as part of their learning experience. And part of the course is also giving students an opportunity to explore other opportunities. If they're in a job that they're not really happy with and they want to explore other jobs, then this gives them a time during the day to do that exploration. So we did talk about offering at 0 period. We wanted to do it towards the end of the day so that students would have an opportunity to leave on like the block day and go to work on that day. But 7th period, we also have a lot of electives that kids, so it's conflicts, right? So that's the challenge that we're facing this year.
So these are our programs, our traditional programs, this new program, and again, sharing this so that you have, all the context before you approach the resolution. Any questions for me about any of these programs? Okay, thank you.
Can I have a motion?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 10.5 Memorandum of Understanding with Napa County Office of Ed.
Is this me?
Yep.
Okay, I think I have like the next, I have like the next 6. So, okay. So there is a $4.6 billion investment from the state of California in youth mental health and behavioral health. It's called the Children and Youth Behavioral Health Initiative. That's a significant investment. And there's been a lot of discussion about the partnership between mental health and behavioral health organizations in the schools, because kids spend a lot of their time in school. And when you look at the percentage of students that keep their appointments for counseling, for example, when that appointment is at school versus in the community, it's much, much higher when the child's at school, right? So there's a lot of discussion about how to bring this work into the school and make sure that we continue and increase the partnerships that we have with community partners in this area. There is also, as part of this investment, the development of a new role called Certified Wellness Coaches. And these are really non-certified or classified staff designed to help with early intervention and prevention services for children. And when you think about our continuum for services, you're thinking of, now we have wellness coach, school counselor, licensed therapists. So it adds another layer to how students get support. And what this MOU does is it describes that Napa County Office of Education is receiving and coordinating the grant to support districts in hiring certified wellness coaches, because there is a lot of process and learning around that. And so this describes that relationship and the county's level of support to the district. It's to the district as well as Up Valley Family Center as part of our collaboration and working with Up Valley and Mentis services.
I have a motion. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Memorandum of Understanding with California School Employee Association.
This is an agreement between CSEA and the district to add wellness coach position. CSEA has their own process where they have their state agency and local organization approve new positions, which they have done. And this memorializes now this new position by the district and approved and agreed to by CSEA.
Can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the MOU.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 10.7 job description for bilingual wellness specialist level 1 and level 2 positions.
So there are two job descriptions here, level 1 and level 2. The difference being level 1 requires an associate's degree in specified fields related to mental or behavioral health. Level 2 requires a bachelor's degree. They come with some different responsibilities, level 2 having some higher responsibilities. To be clear about our intent is to hire one position, but we don't know what that candidate pool is going to be. We'll take the best candidate we can get. It could be level 2 or level 1. So there are two job descriptions, but we intend to hire one position. And just also for the record, we are transitioning from a health technician to a wellness specialist. As COVID has receded, we will not be bringing the health technician back. We are replacing it with the wellness specialist position.
Can I have a motion? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 10.8, updated classified salary schedule.
So this new salary schedule adds the wellness specialist positions 1 and 2, and it removes the health technician from the salary schedule.
Can I have a motion? A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 10.9, updated job description for the bilingual administrative assistant position.
So this and the next two items are the result of the administrative staff study, which we presented in the board in May of 2024. We are having a reorganization of the district office staffing structure. This job description has been updated to number 1, make sure it's current with the tasks that are being done on a daily basis, and also removing some of the business service support tasks, which will now be elsewhere.
Can I have a motion? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 10.10, updated job description for business technician.
Also, in response to last year's staffing study, what this does is it renames the previous business technician to business technician number 2. It adds some higher level tasks to the position, and it removes some of the lower level tasks.
Can I have a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 10.11, job description for the business technician 1.
This is a new position. The job description is mainly purchasing tasks, though there is some crossover and cross-training with the business service technician 2 and the bilingual administrative assistant in our small district. It makes sense to have some level of redundancy. And it should really, this position should relieve some workload from our current district office support staff and as well as site secretarial staff.
Can I have a motion? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 10.12, updated confidential salary schedule.
On this salary schedule, we've renamed the business technician to business technician 2 and added business technician 1.
Can I have a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 10.13, proposal with Educators Thriving.
So some background on this. There is a grant called the Cal Hope Grant. It's designed to support well-being in schools. This grant was previously managed and received by and managed by Napa County Office of Education. One of the things that they did, which was significant for us, was holding after-school meetings with staff to promote and discuss wellness. And we had quite a few of our staff participating. In this last year of the grant, the County Office of Education has transitioned the grant dollars directly to districts and said, do what you will with these dollars to promote wellness. What this agreement does is it creates a contract with Educators Thriving, which is the same group that was providing the support through Napa County Office of Ed to our staff. And it has us working with them to provide after-school meetings with our staff. This is also a company or a presenter that we saw at CALMI. They're very good, and I think the outcomes here will be good for our staff.
Can I have a motion? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 10.14, agreement with Psyched Services.
This is a follow-up to the special ed program review, which was presented to the board in April of 2024. This is an agreement for virtual ERMS services, which is special education counseling services for special education students. The idea is to have, when it's appropriate, counseling services provided virtually. And what that accomplishes is it preserves time for our school psychologist program specialists to spend more time on program specialist duties. And it also does that without infringing on Mentis and Aldea caseloads. There are times in the past where we had Mentis or Aldea try to support our ERMS services for special education services. But this care is ongoing and really long-term. And it's probably not appropriate, especially for Mentis, but even Aldea, these are long-standing supports, and it starts to infringe on the capacity to serve the other students in the district. So to bring in external counseling accomplishes multiple things for our district.
Can I have a motion?
I move to approve the agreement.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 10.15, contract with
Persinger.
Persinger Architects. I don't know why it looks so hard.
This contract with Persinger is to convert classrooms 1 through 3 and classroom 35 at the junior senior high school. Classrooms 1 through 3 are the current science classrooms that will move to the new STEM building. And so we're going to convert those rooms back to regular classrooms instead of science classrooms. And then room 35 is our old black box room that we're going to modernize to a SPED classroom for basic skills classes, which would include cooking, baking, things like that. Persinger is going to do this work for $44,000. The actual estimated cost of the project is about $400,000. So they're a little over 10%, which is normal. And that's pretty much it, unless you have questions.
Can I have a motion? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
10.16, updated contract with West Yost.
This is an amendment of the original contract we had with West Yost. West Yost will now provide work to create a conditional letter of map revision, which is called a CLOMAR, with FEMA. And they are going to be coordinating with the city of Calistoga and hopefully updating our floodway at CES. This contract extension allows for West Yost to prepare the application package for submittal to FEMA, coordinate with the city of Calistoga, and also communicate with our Congressman Mike Thompson regarding what we're trying to do at the district. The CLOMAR, if approved, would give us administrative authority to bypass the current floodway and be able to build our freezer fridge outside of the CES kitchen. It could also give us future possibility of building in floodway zones at CES as well. The original contract with West Yost was for $14,622. This contract is for $135,569, but is well worth the expense if we can get an approved CLOMAR.
Can I have a motion? Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 10.17, LLB contract for CES TK building contractor.
Landmark Construction has been awarded the contract for the CES TK building. Chris, myself, and Larry Black, along with Ray and Felicia from Van Pelt, interviewed 5 different construction companies for this particular project. It was a long day of interviews, but in the end, Landmark came out with the top score. We look forward to working with them on this project if the board approves this contract. And we have been successful with them so far. They'll start the project by doing some pre-construction services at a cost of $6,953. They're coming in early to work with our architect on the project, CASA, which hopefully with these 2 companies will produce a great end product in a TK building.
Can I have a motion?
It's your turn.
Please. Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Wow, 11, closing items. Yeah, that really snuck up on me. Does any board member have a report? Oh, go ahead.
I very much enjoyed the CJSHS open house. I like the new format. It was great. And I appreciated how many friendly teachers, staff, and students there were to help me find where I needed to go because I could not read that map. It was so tiny. Yeah, so unless you're gonna hand out reading glasses at the door next year, maybe print it a little bigger. You know, but it was good. Thank you.
Now, because we have a starting point here, we also had a volleyball game going on. And so, I mean, we have quite a few people here, but then everyone kind of goes out to the car. And then some people come late and then go straight to the bathroom, so. Number count.
Any other board member reports? All right, the next board meeting is Monday, November 4th. Tentative future agenda items, the food services presentation. 11.4, no reason to reconvene to close session. 11.6, adjourn the meeting.
I move we adjourn.
All in favor? It did go a lot faster than I thought.